Welcome to the Better Man Podcast with Ivan and Sumed. This podcast is all about how to be an optimal, conscious male in today's society. Join Ivan and Sumed as they go deep into the rabbit hole of personal growth, mindset, social dynamics, and spirituality. Are you ready to be a better man?
What's up, guys? Coming at you from the Better Man Podcast. We're talking about how to have a commanding presence, a magnetic presence. You want to be the thing that the other side attracts to. You want to attract wealth, relationships. You want to attract status. You want to attract cars. You want to attract salaries, jobs. It's all about attraction. We got Sumed on the other side, coming from India. Genius. Graduated with his doctorate when he was 12 years old. Give it up for Sumed.
What's happening, guys? On the other side, we have Ivan, a maestro when it comes down to fashion and, just being able to share that incredible charisma with the world in a way that is easy and difficult to digest.
Oh, shit, bro. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Causing polarities in me. Yo, guys, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm filming this in the bus because, we want to show you that really there's no limitations. And so many times we set limitations for ourselves. We're like, it has to be like this, right? It needs to be done in this way. But the reality of it is, any kind of way.
Absolutely, man. You want to go into the affirmations?
Yeah, let's go into the affirmations. I want to say, everybody, take a deep breath in. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. I am what I say I am.
And what I say I am.
And I say that I am monumental.
I'm monumental.
That's it.
I'm
monumental. I have a PDF on rewiring your brain. This is one of the words that I use that you have to say repeatedly every day. Monumental. Just think about the power of that. Really, what is a monument? It is this giant construction. It's very solid. The wind can't take it down. The people pushing it can't take it down. You take a bulldozer, not even rain can't take it down, depending on what it's made out of. People gather around it, right? People look at it and admire it. Right? It is something. It is a creation to be admired.
Right. It's a structure. It's a structure with a foundation.
That too. You see, it's so many layers to it.
Yeah. That's
why that word is so important to be a magnetic person. Right? Just imagine you're telling yourself that every day. How are you going to feel? You walk differently, literally. You walk because you're like, people are looking, right? Everywhere you go, people are going to look anyway, right? And they may think, oh, look at that person. And they may think like, whoa, that person was so lovable. Love is magnetic.
Absolutely.
Love has a presence. Look into the eyes of somebody who loves himself. You will.
Yeah. You won't be able to look away.
Why not?
If you look into the eyes of someone who loves themselves, you won't be able to take your eyes off because it is reflecting and projecting a part of you that you would like. So therefore, it's like you crave that wanting of someone who feels so much liberation and freedom in their own skin and comfortable in their own skin. And when we see that in other people, it starts to magnetize us to it. And I think it's really powerful when someone can.
They're comfortable in their skin. Yep.
Right.
Comfortable in their skin.
Right, and it's so magnetic, right? That's the word that you used as well, magnetic, because think about a magnet, right? It attracts something to it, and it can also at the same time repel something, right? So it's like
if it's not meant for you, it's gonna be repelled.
Exactly.
But
That's
the
that
problem
polarity.
with me saying it, there's a really big problem with that. I don't know if you see it with me saying that.
What's the problem?
Basically, if we say those words and somebody of a lower conscience hears them, right? What were the words again? Can you remind me?
Yeah, you attract certain people to you and repel certain people away from you.
Yes. So I said, if you repel it, it's because it's not meant for you, right? But sometimes we have to look at the opposite, where it's like sometimes we fail and we have to keep on trying, right? Because if we want it, we have to keep on trying and keep going after it, even after we lose. It's a paradox.
That's like persistence and being able to persevere over something. And we don't let just a little tiny blip stop us from getting to our goals, right? A lot of people call this
even big ones, even the big ones.
Right, this idea of leapfrog theory, right? Have you heard of leapfrog theory?
No.
The idea of leapfrog theory is you don't necessarily need to be in the position where you're at. You can actually leapfrog out of that current situation that you're in to another reality, to another place. But it's up to you to fully commit to it and be able to actually, like, say for instance, someone who wants to start a business, right? And they say that, oh, I can't start a business, I'm only 18, right? In terms of leapfrog theory, that wouldn't make sense because your business is to do with skill. It has nothing to do with age. He's just been fed all these lies and like this conditioning, maybe from his environment, from his parents, that are telling him that that's not possible. See what I'm saying? So basically, leapfrog theory is you can leapfrog to another reality if you choose to, but you have to fully commit to that and really own it. I think owning it is a big part of it.
How do you think we can own it? What are some of the things that are limiting people from owning it, for wanting to go full in?
That's a really good question. And I would say definitely one part of it is that we as a culture, we often don't feature what is bad about us and what is wrong about us and what is a disadvantage to us. But in a certain context, we have to be able to laugh at ourselves and own ourselves because we know that society is judgmental. We know that people, make fun of each other and people are going to do that to us. So the fact that you own it, it's actually giving you the power that you don't take yourself seriously, but you still hold the power in being able to release that and let go. So I think what people need to consider is really, really be able to laugh at yourself. Like, I've often in my life had a lot of different, racist jokes and things like that thrown at me. But if I wasn't able to laugh at them and move on from them, like, it would actually start to impact me negatively and it would put me in a downward spiral. But
you know where that is? Why it would do that?
Why I would do that?
Because of pride.
Yeah. Because it has to do with the identity. Yeah.
Yeah, we feel the need to protect it, right? So we have to move into love. We have to move into love to fully, if you like, to admire it, right? So we can accept it. Accepting it is like one part of it, but even a higher level is to love it. That's where true growth, where we see big growth,
right?
Big
we're embracing it. We're like giving it a big hug.
Giving it love, Some of the pain that that's been. I went to another Tibetan healing session, right? And she told me that in my heart she saw like a little shoe, and she said she's talking about maybe like a heartbreak or something, right? And I was like, what, you're very right for sure. I definitely have had when I was little. I'd say maybe I was around the wrong women. I was maybe around the wrong women, and then it just I learned, and I was like, what? I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna burn the shoe, right? So I imagined a fire inside of me burning the shoe, but then I was like, oh, and also I imagined an army of Aztec warriors on black horses. They're all like dripping in gold and feathers.
They drip it in gold. Nice.
And then they run over the shoe. But I was like, no. Why? You know what? Let me give it love. Let me embrace this shoe. Let me hold this shoe, right? Let me give it love. Thank you, shoe. Thank you, shoe. And burning it does something to it, right? It makes it ugly. But loving it makes it something to be admired. So, really, like all of this sort of things that we've been saying sort of seem off topic, but the reality of it is that if you want to be magnetic, if you want to have a powerful presence wherever you go, you have to be able to own your dark side and love your dark side.
Yeah.
Admire your dark side.
Oftentimes I feel like it's not about, adding on more things, but it's about removing all the conditioning and the things that we have put up like barriers towards ourselves to fully embrace that side of us. And oftentimes I think of this example of, for instance, when we were children, right? That child behind you is yelling, yeah, right? That is a childlike energy. And the thing is, like, being able to understand that, permission is something that we have to give ourselves permission and allow ourselves to do what we want. Like when we were kids, we would ask for permission to go to the bathroom, right? And the thing is, we sometimes carry that presence into our adult lives. So it is really up to you as the listener to associate, like, where are you carrying on these different traits that you've learned from childhood into your adult life. And by doing
that's
that,
so funny. That's very true. Like, have you noticed about, like, whenever you went to university,
yeah,
right? You don't have to ask somebody to go to the restroom. You just go.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? And that's because you're treated differently as an adult, right? They're able to trust that, like, you're going to, like, not, right? Just, like, leave the herd. When you're a child, you'll get off the herd by accident, you get killed, right? So that's why, we teach children to, like, to listen to what the adults are saying, right? The problem is that there's sometimes when we listen to what the adults are saying, and it's not good, and it's feeding this person's limiting belief into this other person, feeding this person's negative outlook about themselves, and making that other person, making that other person feel that negative outlook about themselves.
Right.
People want to make you feel the way that they feel. Somebody who feels ugly wants to make somebody else feel ugly. Somebody who feels attractive wants to make somebody else feel attractive, right? We don't try to pull people down.
So it's like a mirror, you're saying.
Yeah, So
or it's an amplification.
Amplification?
Yeah, like you amplify what is inside of you to the world. It's like you're a broadcasting system. You are your own channel.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good way of seeing it.
I speak with a lot of metaphors and poetry sometimes. Ivan, I wanted to ask you a question. Since we are talking about commanding presence, I want to talk to you about apologizing and compromising, because this is something that I've really had to struggle with a lot of my life, is that I've always felt apologetic I've always felt like this need to apologize and be in this kind of frame where I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm late. Whereas being able to convert that energy into gratitude, like, thank you for your patience, is a lot better option. However, like, when I was a child, I was constantly in this frame of like apologizing, and I felt like I was always doing something wrong. And that was generally from my environment when I wasn't fitting in or I wasn't
Yeah.
going with the herd mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. The herd mentality.
Yeah. Your video just disappeared, bro.
That's all right, bro. Give me a sec.
All right.
Just keep talking. Just keep talking.
All right, so
What the fuck? Hold on, excuse me. Bro, basically I had to get off right now because I'm like, where the fuck am I on the map, dude? I'm way off where my target is. But let's just keep talking, bro. Let's just keep talking. You know, it's a podcast, so all they need is my voice.
Yeah, true. All right, brother. So basically, the originator of any kind of communication always has the
Be an
power.
originator of communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you hold the power, basically. What you were saying about cause and effect, it's like, what is the effect that you want to have with your communication? And whatever that effect is.
You saw my you saw my live on Facebook.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was lit.
it was lit, yeah. So basically, do you want to speak a little bit about that, of the effect that we want to have with our communication? Because I think it's really important, and it sometimes goes over people's heads. However,
yeah, you know, honestly, I kind of want to bring it back to where we were saying about being a mirror and about how people want you to feel the way that they feel, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what makes people really, really magnetic, because you're not trying to make them feel shit. You're validating them. You're giving them love. You're giving them positive energy, like energy they can appreciate.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like if they can't produce that for themselves, and even if they can, it's likable, because, you know, we like to be around people who make us feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were talking about this a little bit a while ago in our last chat, how men like to be challenged by communication, and women like to be praised. And I think
But we have both, you know? We have both energies, you know?
Of course, yeah. So some guys might also love to be praised, and a lot of women might also love to be challenged. But yeah, just noticing the kind of trend in terms of like the marketing that's out there. Like for women, it's always like, you're a divine queen. Like you have all the blessings like of the universe. You can accomplish anything. You're a warrior woman. And then for guys, it's always like step up, wake up, man up, like go for it. You know, like
let's go more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's because we build societies, man. And that's what it is. It's the creation of societies.
Yeah,
men push society forward.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that women don't, but like, let's be honest. Like, who has created the biggest empires? Not because women couldn't do it, but just because, you know, some women don't have that energy. Most women, you could even say, don't have that energy, right?
Yeah, which is more of a directive rather than a receptive. Yeah.
You know what I find really amazing, really beautiful in a woman? Like, wow, like when women do this, I fall in love. Not fall in love, but I like them a lot. Like, definitely high up on my list.
Right. What is it?
It is women that are caring.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I agree with that.
Women that like want to give you massages. They want to, you know, play with your hair. They want to stroke your body, you know, gently, lovingly, not just sexually. They admire you. They make you feel stronger. They make you feel powerful, right?
Right. It almost has like this kind of regenerative quality when a woman does that. It's like nurturing a plant, for instance, in a garden. It just gives you that much more glow as a man when a woman does that to you. It's a great feeling. I agree with you. Or like a woman is massaging you, or they're giving you their feminine essence for you to actually bask in it and use that essence and put it out into the world. And yeah, I think that's amazing.
Yeah, no, and that's something that a woman can use to begin to attract more men,
Mm-hmm.
right? To be magnetic in a room, that woman that just laughs, that has so much joy, and she shares her joy, she shares her love. You could have one that's half naked, and you could have that other woman. I'd say it might be a little bit more for the other one,
Mm-hmm.
for the joyful, loving one.
Yeah. Right. Anybody can get naked, but it takes a special woman to, really bring that joy and that feminine energy to any conversation or any kind of communication. So yeah, I think that's on point. And I also think another thing is to have a more commanding presence. We want to think of more oxygenation in our blood, right? We want to think of like breathing into our bellies, and
Breathing is so fucking important.
yeah, and being able to hold in that breath at times too, because the thing is, honestly, are you in an Uber? What's going on there, bro?
Yeah, bro. Dude, I looked at my map. I kept
Yeah,
looking up, right? And
yeah,
I was like, I don't know. I think I should get off by now, right? And
yeah,
I checked my maps, right? And like the bus route's here, right? This is the bus
yeah.
route. And I'm like all the way over here at the other end. I was like, fuck.
It happens, dude. I remember times where I've lost track of where the heck I'm going, like, and then you end up somewhere different. But yeah, Uber is a great invention, right? Just being able to hop in.
I definitely love Uber. I
Yeah,
love Uber, dude. I
yeah.
love Uber. We need to use this for marketing. The Better Man podcast, right? Why do you love to watch the Better Man podcast? This is my podcast. Now, what were you saying? Yeah, right.
We were talking about oxygenation and like breathing in and like holding in the breath, because I think it's so important to fill your lungs, and like once you do that, there's more blood going to your face, right? Like imagine right before you're about to give a speech or speak to a woman or get into an interview room, you hold your breath and you hold that in, right? The blood rushes to your face, and that gives you that radiance and that glow and that redness in your face, and that allows you to be much more energetic. When you're speaking, you're using that exhale.
The oxygen.
Yeah, you're using the oxygen. Exactly, bro.
That's something you can learn through going to a chiropractor. I learned a lot through weightlifting, through bodybuilding. I've taught you learn a lot about breathing.
Oh yeah, totally.
Meditation for sure has taught me a lot about breathing. Public speaking has taught me a lot about breathing. Just like even singing. Singing is very difficult if you're not breathing right. And something crazy that I learned about singing was that, whenever people go to voice coaches,
Yeah.
and they train them to use their muscles in their throat differently, right? So you could already be singing beautifully, right? But what will happen is maybe there are a few notes that are a bit outside of your range and you have trouble with, right? But you want to hit. Or you just don't want to hurt your throat. It begins to hurt your throat, right? When you do that.
Yeah.
Well, what a voice coach does, he doesn't make you sing better. He just helps you be in control of the muscles in your throat so that you can relax your throat, right? And then whenever you relax it, that is when the sound will come out nicely.
Yeah.
But we're setting the pressure on ourselves. We're the ones that's putting that invisible hold on ourselves. You notice that? And that's why mentors are so important. Mentors are so important because if we don't have them, we literally don't see them. Blind spots.
Blind spots, man. Love it. Just something that you said about singing that just reminded me how we place so much importance on the human voice, because like take this for an example, right, Ivan? Like there's an orchestra and there's like 1,000 different instruments in the background, but we all tune into that one singer's voice that can hold that presence and can lead that auditorium with just their voice. And I think that's so powerful when you're able to move a crowd with just this tool, just this instrument, which you can actually train. And I almost like to think of words like different metaphors. And
As the second, words come second. Whenever it comes to speaking and singing, words come second. The sound of it, the tonality comes first.
Exactly. And the way I imagine it is, at least when I'm about to give a speech, when I'm about to give a seminar, when I'm about to do a retreat, anything, right? When I'm about to speak, when I'm about to get on camera, do a live video, I always imagine my words holding a certain kind of weight and a certain presence in the words. So I imagine either my words are like darts, right? They can hit the audience all the way in the back of the room. Or I imagine like my words are like boulders, like a certain word is like a bowling ball that gives more weight to the word. Or I imagine one of my words is like a balloon. It's just floating to them, or like a feather. And when you start giving images, like mental images to your words, it really allows you to speak in a very specific tonality. And it's very strategic and it's very calculated.
Definitely. Very, very true. Very true. I know that in general, we should have a system for everything in our life. A system. Whenever we encounter new situations, that's what can sometimes bring the uncomfort. So after we live that situation and we go through that whole, horror, you could even say at times, after that we take it, and what learning is, so learning from our mistakes means creating a system out of that failure. Be like, okay, this didn't work out because the steps that I had taken in that moment were not good. So now next time that I go into a moment similar to this, I'll know how to deal with it. So it's just about going out. And that doesn't mean to just bars and clubs, can be museums, can be going to festivals, can mean in book clubs. Just go out, meet more people infinitely. And that helps you feel that comfort in every situation, because you know how to deal with many situations. You have a structure for all these situations.
Right, you get all of those reference experiences, and then from there you can kind of generalize and like create a rule for yourself. Like, this is the pattern that I'm noticing. And I think noticing patterns is such an important skill set. Like, it's an art form. It's something you build. When you notice the patterns in your life and the signs in your life, you're like any kind of like person who is like a messenger or prophet. All those people who go off to do great things, they all get signs. And the great people in the world, they have an amazing dream one day where they get an amazing idea, or they're in the shower one time randomly and they get a eureka moment, or, it's these bursts of inspiration.
Eureka.
Eureka, 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 eureka.
It's a song. It's a song. I came up with a funny song today. It was like, what you got? What? What you got? Woo! What you got? What? What you got? Woo!
I could definitely see someone playing that.
We need to be trappers, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. We need to be making trap music.
It's trap music, 100%, dude. I love it. Yeah.
The better, we need to discard this podcast entry and make it like a song that we make.
We can sample it later. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah,
something
and
along those lines. Yeah.
When we're having a commanding presence, right? I was just thinking about this idea how we sometimes have to match the context we're in. Like, we have to match the audience that we're speaking to. And that just reminds me how sometimes a lot of persuasion, you'll notice, or a lot of influencers, they speak super simply.
What? Simply.
Yeah.
Simply.
They speak.
Oh, yes.
They like simplify everything. They water it down. It's like, instead of giving them the steak, they give them like, they squeeze up the information like baby mush, and they like they sort of give them the smoothie blended version of the knowledge and the wisdom.
What
It's
kind
like,
of influencers? What kind of influencers?
like
Say.
if you notice anybody, right? Oprah, Ellen,
Oh,
you know, anyone who is big in the field of like influencing others, right? Michael Beckwith, they all have similar messages, and it's like love one another, right? It's very simple, but they're packaging it differently in their own way. So it's the same concepts packaged very differently in their own way. So I could be selling happiness through my program. However, it's my own brand of happiness. You see what I'm saying?
wow. Yeah, that's kind of similar to what I was talking about today when I said there's different kinds of confidence,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Like you can have nervous confidence, right? Which
Mm.
I've spoken about before, where it's just like, even though you're nervous, you have the confidence to take action, right? Which is courage. That's another word to put it is courage. Courage is a kind of confidence. Um, Another confidence is like loving confidence, right? Or curious confidence, right?
Mm.
Curious confidence is like I have a vision of my life. I have a vision of what goal I want to achieve. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try different things until I get that that thing that I want.
Mm.
I'm so confident that I'm going to get it if I just keep searching for it, if I just keep building on it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so what that involves, it involves looking into the future and saying, taking confidence from the future. Like, damn straight,
Mm.
I'm gonna be a millionaire. Damn straight, I'm gonna have a big following. Damn straight, I'm gonna lead an army of people. Damn straight, I'm gonna be worldwide. I'm gonna be leader worldwide. I know I'm going
Mm.
to do this. And if that's the goal,
I
just
love
think
that.
backwards and think, if I just keep trying, if I could just keep going, I'm going to get it. It's very
Right.
simple.
That's awesome, man. Borrowing from the future of your success in this present moment. I really like that. And I honestly love the idea of building momentum throughout the day, because that's something that I've been practicing daily. Sometimes we wake up and we just don't feel like it. So if you're just scrolling through Instagram and you're getting these blurry notifications and bright colors on your phone the first thing in the
Oh,
morning,
bro, I want to ask you something.
what's up?
Do you ever catch yourself being like, oh, I shouldn't be getting on my phone right now,
Yeah.
and you stay on their phone while you're thinking about that?
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
I
absolutely.
shouldn't be doing this. I really should not be doing this, and you do it anyway. You're thinking
Yeah,
about not doing it as you're doing it. That's fucking hilarious. Me
yeah,
too. Same.
yeah.
Everybody has this.
Everyone has
Maybe
those
not.
moments,
Maybe
and
not everybody. Maybe not everybody. Let's be honest. Maybe not everybody.
I guess it becomes, because it becomes a pattern as well. And if we keep doing that, and we say we're not going to do it, it's like we don't hold ourselves accountable anymore, you know. And it sometimes just helps to be in an environment where others can hold you accountable, like how we were saying of starting another NoFap challenge. Remember that? So once we have a community of people, it's just a lot easier to do that.
Definitely. Definitely.
Mm.
Community is
Brotherhood.
like what builds it. What builds it. Like in a way, like we can think about it like, oh yeah, I'm your coach, I'm your mentor, I'm your teacher, I'm the one who's supposed to do. You have to have so much respect for me, da 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 da, right? And really, the thing is, yes, you should have respect for your mentors, but your mentors wouldn't exist if you weren't in the situation that you were. You know what I mean?
Mm.
We wouldn't have a sewage system if we didn't have shit. We wouldn't have police
Mm.
officers if we didn't have crime. We wouldn't have doctors.
Preach, yeah.
We wouldn't have doctors if we didn't have disease and broken bones.
Yep, they're filling in a market gap. You're right. Totally.
Well, how much time do you think it says? 11?
You know,
So yeah, man. Yeah, what's up?
I was just thinking about this idea of groundedness, because I think once a plant doesn't have its sustenance, it doesn't have its root, it can't grow, right? I just think about that, and how we have to ground ourselves if we want to have a commanding presence. And, you know, this earth, Mother Gaia, whatever you want to call her, it's just, this earth is always vibrating at a certain kind of frequency. And those frequencies are changing. Like, I recently heard that the Schumann resonance, which is the frequency of the planet, is changing. So we have to adapt with those emerging.
Whoa. Wow, man. Wow.
Yeah. Like, we have to actually physically ground ourselves again and again through the fluctuations, through the astrological, like, and astronomical shifts that are happening.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
So
there is a lot of crazy stuff going on, for sure.
Yeah, and nowadays when I feel like I'm speaking with a lot more groundedness, it's like I'm almost playing like a game of slots, like in a casino, how I'm like, and it's like going through the Rolodex in my mind, and it's like trying to choose like what is the appropriate thing to say right now, which will have this effect. But earlier, I would just say things without kind of thinking about them, and that would land me.
Think about the context.
Yeah.
Context. I can't say it enough, man. Context, like,
super problem.
What is good here is bad over here. What is bad over here is good here. It all depends from what the perspective is, from what the context is. Perspective is context. It's just another word for context.
Yeah.
Where you stand, you can say the Eiffel Tower looks good here, or the Eiffel Tower looks better here. Somebody's getting shot.
What?
Yeah, it's all right. Just London, you know, people get shot all the time. Right? You know, people get shot all the time in London. I got shot last week. No worries. They have NHS. You know, you're protected by hospital if you want to.
Oh man.
So basically, neighborhood. It all depends. It all depends on where you are and what's your situation that you're in. If you know what situation it is, because you have a structure for it, you're just like better at life, bro. You're just better at life. You can't learn to make money like a big millionaire by accident. You have mentors. Yeah. People teach you.
Exactly. You're like, oops, I just tripped and became a millionaire. It's like, oops, my bad.
Well, I mean, you can become a millionaire when you're 40, right? When you're 46, you can become a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
But that's 46 years, bro. I want to do it when I'm like much younger. I want to hit my first. I need to get a day when I hit my first million, because I know when I want to hit my 5 million. Right, but I need to break it down a bit more. Yeah, just breaking stuff down really is very important for yourself. That's why. That's what I'm going to be doing with my clients. I think probably my biggest, but the one that I think is going to have the biggest impact out of the people that I'm coaching right now. Her name is Marlene. I think she's going to blow. You know what I mean? In a good way, like, you know, explosion, like awesome. Because, you know, what I'm doing really is I'm helping people see it. I think that's one of the biggest things, help people see as a coach. You're you're extra eyes for them. And you're like, something that I've noticed with people, that after one coaching session, they're like, you know what? I didn't know how much I was winning in life. I didn't realize how strong I was. I didn't realize I was doing this. I had the results, but I didn't even count them as positive things, because I was so focused on the negative.
Absolutely, man. And people need to recognize that you can get that feeling of winning and that feeling of happiness from small things, that we don't stop and smell the flowers at times, man. You know what I mean? Like, there are times where we can just enjoy a cup of tea, for instance, and it can feel like the greatest thing in the world if we're just tuning in, focusing our presence and our consciousness on the cup, feeling the warmth of it, feeling the environment and the music around it, and getting super mindful in those moments, creating microflow. And I love doing this, man. I love teaching people to see. And when you give them those pair of sunglasses to borrow and they see the world in a new way, their eyes light up, and you can tell. You can tell when someone is transforming right in front of you. And I live for that shit, bro. I love it.
Definitely, bro. It just changes right in front of you. It's just like, it's so funny because it's like, it has our negative beliefs, our limiting beliefs have such a big impact on our life, but they're so little. They're so little that as soon as you hear the truth, you go, boom, that's it, boom. And if it did not work in that moment, it wasn't the complete truth. If it wasn't like written 100%, it means there's more truth to be unfound.
Yeah, man. A lot of that comes down to, for me at least, about imagery. Like, that's one of my top strengths, bro, is to create imagery for anything, because I've always had this overactive imagination, and it's just about me like trying to harness that energy and like utilize it for my own personal growth and to help the personal growth of others. So
Definitely.
So we can see an obstacle as like a giant wall, or we can see it as a tiny little, just a few steps. And if we can control that wall with our minds, and we can shrink it in our minds, guess what? It's going to be a lot easier. All we've done is change the image.
You know what? That's something that, people who study marketing are so genius, because that's what they do. They control the image, right? Something my mom taught me a while back was, we were at La Media Luna. It's like this, it's like a nice, very beautiful place. Where it's a reservation. It's a reservation, like a lake reservation that has like a river to it. And basically, a long time ago, people were scuba diving, and they saw a crocodile at the bottom of the lake. Dang. And everyone was like, oh shit, there's a crocodile in the lake, right? And what a business owner did was, he took people there and he created shirts that said, I went to go see the crocodile at the half moon. That's what it was called, the half moon, La Media Luna.
Whoa.
And he sold t-shirts, and he sold pictures. He sold scuba excursions because of the way he painted the picture, like, oh, I'm cool, I'm dangerous, right?
Yeah.
He obviously knows that people want to be made feel good. They want to be made feel powerful, right? A little bit more forward, just so it's not here.
Yeah, people always love to feel that sense of power emanating. And yeah, I think it is basically like what he did. He controlled the image. He controlled the picture of how people saw it. And instead of it being this dangerous thing that people stay away from, like, ooh, I'm scared, it's like, I'm a survivor of this.
Man, thank you.
It's like, I'm a survivor of this moment, which is awesome.
Anytime somebody survives a jaguar attack, a tiger attack, cancer, when they survive something, they feel stronger after it. You never feel
100%.
weak after you survive something. You never feel weak after you survive something. That's what people don't get. That we personally ourselves need to be the ones that push us into those very uncomfortable situations. And we have to know that at the end, it always feels amazing. At the end, it always feels amazing. A spiritual growth is actually painful at times. Very painful.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's incredibly painful, man. I've gone through it multiple times, and I know every time.
It's a fight. You're going against it, bro.
Yeah, because you got to go through and get to the other side. And it's like that causes a lot of things to break down, a lot of core principles and ideas. I think what mainly happens is your identity shatters, like your ego shatters in the moment of spiritual growth. Who is that? Pepe Le Pew? Who is that, bro? Yeah. But yeah, your identity shatters, right? And it's just like this feeling of you have to rebuild that after any kind of loss, any kind of trauma, any kind of grief, any kind of heartbreak.
Definitely.
There's always this moment of rediscovery.
bro, it's so fucking crazy though. It's so fucking crazy because part of it is like guided rediscovery, where you guided yourself into that direction. Because after we let go, this is what we don't realize. After we have let go, now we have a space to fill, right? Because that space was being filled for a reason.
Yeah.
So now we have like this empty space here, this big ass void. So quickly, as soon as we give, we let go, we have to fill it in real quick.
Yep. And that's not necessarily to mean to like, escape. What we're saying is fill it with positive things, right? Fill it with things that are actually going to guide your growth. And sometimes, you need to go through a lot to go. The palace, the road to excess leads to the palace of wisdom, essentially is what I'm saying. So when we oftentimes take it too far, we get wiser as a byproduct because we know where our limits lie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes,
Yes.
Spot on, dude. Spot on. I know I've taken such a big bite of things at times in my life. More than I can chew. So many times in life. But now I know, like, okay, that's where it stops.
Okay. Yeah. Totally, bro. I'm liking the style today. You got like a little thing around your head. It's like a little.
What does it say? Look, what does it say?
Oh, Louis Vuitton. There's some LV swag.
Damn, boy.
Yeah,
you know how much this shit cost me, bro? You know how much this shit cost me, bro? I'm not even gonna lie. 2,000. Literally, I paid 2,000 for this fucking shoelace.
Dang.
No, I'm kidding. My mom bought a pair of glasses from there, and so like they come in like very nice like boxing, and then they have like the string around it, just to make it look extra nice. Packaging.
Yeah.
You can have a nice ass packaging. You can bump up your price easy like that.
That's very fashion forward and progressive of you, man. That's awesome. I like how you're using packaging for like aesthetic.
Reduce, reuse, recycle to a whole new level.
That's coming to you from the Better Man podcast. So if you are listening, save the planet, save the whales, save the little children, and I don't think you should have got it to falsetto right there when I said save the little children. It just reminds people of MJ. Anyway, what I was saying is...
Children, we're gonna love. That's good.
Oh, man. So if you are listening, make sure that you subscribe to our podcast. It's on YouTube. It's on all the multiple platforms out there, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So if you leave us a review, we're actually going to send you some courses and things as a present, as a gift to you. So please do that. Please support this movement and let us rise together, men and women. Because I know a lot of women that also tune into this podcast just to learn from the masculine information and the downloads that we're getting. It's actually helpful for both genders. So the people who are listening right now, this is not just like some kind of men's club that we're building, right? This is a movement for actual enhancement of the masculine essence. And that's in both men and women. So I just want you guys to recognize.
Bro, we definitely have a very well balanced. You and I have a very well balanced masculine feminine. Sure.
Yeah, we've integrated our polarities and we've been able to associate with both sides of it. We have a sensitive side and we also have a very strategic, logical, stoic side. Yeah.
Bro, where can we find you? We want to know.
They want to know? Ooh.
We want to know.
I'm invisible, bro. I don't know.
Bro, they could find superpowers.
Yeah, I got superpowers.
You need superpowers to get in contact with you. Shit. That's a whole new level, bro.
Well, if you want to join the Flow Zone Academy, we are like the X-Men of the personal development community. We are the mutants. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are the people who are like actually not fitting into the societal norms and the strategies of the culture, man. Yeah, we are fitting in, bro. We're rebels, bro. Yeah,
Tattoos on my neck, bitch. Tattoos
we,
on my throat chakra, bitch.
yeah, we the outlaws, son. Anyway, if you wanna if you wanna get in contact with me, guys, please head over to www.flowzone Academy. That's FLOZ or ZONE, depending on where you're tuning in from. .com. And also you can check me out on www.facebook.com/Flowzone Academy or /Sumed. That's SUMEDHC. If you send me a message on there, or if you DM me, write to my Instagram too at Flowzone Academy, you will get a lot of value because I love to spread value, baby. I love to give you guys all the tools that you can get. And obviously, there's elite information that I can give you if you choose to join my mastermind and my coaching programs. Like those are different elite information that is more strategic. So I have an encyclopedia of information to give you guys. But if you really want the real rare nuggets of wisdom, I would recommend you to get on my program pronto, ASAP. Let's not waste any more time. Ivan, how can
if you're that one person, if you're that one person who's ready to cut through all the bullshit, just go straight to it and get the top one. Get the best. You get the medium results, you get the medium results. You spend a little bit of money, you get a little bit of results. So you spend big money, you get big results. Easy as that.
100%.
You can find me on social media, on Instagram, Odd Resilience. You can find me on Facebook. Type in, just do a hashtag Odd Resilience. You'll find me. I literally use it. And you can find me on YouTube, Odd Resilience again, right? Send me a message. I'll give this to you for free. It is a PDF guide that teaches you how to rewrite your brain. I know stuff about the brain. I know stuff about what really goes on inside of it, right? I teach you these things, right? And I teach you how to create new thoughts and make sure that those thoughts stick, right? That's what I teach you. It's completely free. Send me a message. And peace out.
Peace out, guys. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you have an amazing day and stay legendary, babies. Woo!